That doesn't happen often. Usually we're like 5-10 minutes late every time. Alright. Still, live stream's not kicked in yet. It says that we're live, but I don't see us on the YouTube. Long delay. And yep, we got some ads going here. Test 1, 2. Oh my gosh. Ads for days.
I think they can hear us, though.
Yeah, I know. Alright, jump!
3, 2, 1.
Get over here! Hi, I'm martial art master Daniel Pacina. You know me as the original Johnny Cage, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Reptile, and Smoke. You are tuning in to NerdCage Live on YouTube, Twitter. Let's finish him.
This is Anthony Marquez, better known as Kung Lao for Mortal Kombat. Make sure to like and subscribe to NerdCage Live. Be there. Us.
Hey everybody, this is Dave Niebuhr from Dog Eat Dog, and you're watching NerdCage Live. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel. These are great guys doing what they love to do.
NerdCage Live and gaming are a perfect match.
Shoot the J, Joe. Okay. Shoot it!
All right.
Over on NerdCage Live on Twitch, Jay and Joe go live.
Call me Bazooka Joe.
It's all about you.
Kaboom!
Playing both old school and new school games every Tuesday night. Ooh, what a sight!
Jay, stop looking at her face and run.
But she's so beautiful!
So be sure to follow NerdCage Live on Twitch.
Run for your life, Joe. Run for your life, Joe.
Running.
Run faster. Oh no, Joe. The galaxy's doomed because of you.
To scratch your gaming itch.
Oh, nice kick, Joe.
Thank you.
Yo, that's diabolical. Wait. Yo!
That's twitch.tv/NerdCageLive.
Hi, I'm Leah Montalongo, the OG Sindel. Please like, subscribe to NerdCage Live.
This is Ernie C. from Body Count. You're tuned in to NerdCage. Can you like and subscribe?
Hey guys, it's the original Shao Kahn, Brian Glenn, and I'd like you to subscribe to NerdCage Live.
It has begun!
If what you say is true, the Shaolin
And the NerdCage
could be dangerous.
Greetings, citizens. You're now trapped in a NerdCage. We hope you have a smashing good time.
You're now about to witness the strength of geek knowledge. Hello, welcome. That's right. Once again, you are trapped in NerdCage Live. This channel is a celebration of all things pop culture, including happy little games, retro gaming, arcades, and more. If you are new to the channel, please hit that like button and subscribe and share with everybody you know. I'm your co-host, Jay St. G, certified geek, 7 days a week, coming to you live from yours truly, the land of the orange, the land of Anthrax, the land of Tom Cruise, the land of Earth Crisis of Syracuse, New York. And always among us is our moderator and trollhammer, stronger than DK Banana Slammer. You know him, you love him. It is Joe from FallenOne Gaming. Please introduce our mighty guest tonight.
Yes, tonight we have the legendary PatManQC. How are you doing, sir?
Good, guys. How are you doing?
Very good.
Well.
And we are very excited to have you here. My goodness gracious, this man has 84,000 plus subscribers. Go over and subscribe to him right now. But Joe, before we go any further tonight, who do we got in the chat? And don't be shy, guys.
In the chat, we have a ton of lurkers, and I'm sure our regulars will be here very soon.
Yes, if you have any questions for our awesome guest, by all means, don't be shy. Joe will do his best to fetch all your questions and whatnot. And there's lots to talk about, and we're really excited. But, Joe, we got some stuff coming up here, but before we talk about our upcoming shows, Joe, if you haven't, check out our live stream from last week, Joe.
Yes, with Mike Valenti of Brick by Brick.
Available on all podcast platforms. And Joe, Saturday and tentatively planned for Sunday, a finale attempt on Twitch.
Yes, finale attempt of X-Men Legends.
And Joe, next Wednesday, sports fan, we're excited to finally have Eli Rex to talk everything sports, and we're going to talk movies and video games as well. And then Joe, Thursday, having them back, there's so much more to talk about. And then Joe, mark your calendars for Wednesday, April 3rd at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Can't wait to chop it up, talk music, metal, punk rock. Of course, we're going to talk video games and movies as well. But also, Joe, if you haven't already, be sure to visit our TeePublic. It's the best way to support us. We have so many, any size, any color, even in pink, if you love the Barbie movie. And also, we're huge PlayStation fans. Get yourself the PlayStation gaming shirt. Joe's favorite franchise ever, Zelda. Get yourself a Zelda shirt. And of course, do not tell the RZA. Check out our Wu-Tang design. For you kaiju fanatics, we got the legendary... Yes, get yourself a kaiju shirt. We're huge Mortal Kombat fans, so Mortal Fatality. I'm sure y'all have seen this logo somewhere before. And of course, we're Rocky fans. Get yourself a Prediction Pain shirt. We also got a If He Dies, He Dies shirt. And of course, for you MCU fans, we have the MCU shirt. And then Joe, show them the shirt that you're wearing, buddy.
That's the N64 shirt right here.
Yes, we even also have a Dreamcast shirt. So yes, get yourself a NerdCage Live t-shirt. You're gonna love the way you look. I guarantee it. Okay, enough about us. Let's talk to our guest here. So, PatManQC. Again, subscribe to this man, but Patman, for starters, please, in a nutshell, just tell everybody what you do and your upbringing and all that good stuff. And I know you have a very heartwarming and an amazing story. By all means, the floor is yours, my friend.
Oh, basically, I grew up in a bowling alley. So basically, that was pinball machines and arcade games back in the early 80s. And that just evolved onto the Atari 2600, the NES, the Super Nintendo, ColecoVision, all that good stuff. And that was just something that I really enjoyed. And here, I never thought it would be 40 years later and I'd still be able to talk about it and people would be interested in all the little facts and trivia I've got buried deep inside this melon of mine.
Well, Patman, also I want to point out too, it's really, really awesome. I mean, I know you're a little older than us, but it's really cool for us dudes to be talking to an OG gamer, someone who was there from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I also just want to point out that we're huge fans of your channel. I think what got me to your channel in the first place is you covered Mortal Kombat. But now that you've covered Mortal Kombat, you've done so many documentaries. Rampage, Paperboy, Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Dragon's
Lair.
Dragon's Lair, yes. Primal Rage, which is a huge NerdCage favorite over here. It's just amazing that you cover the whole spectrum of arcade games from the beginning, and it's really fascinating. But for starters, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say the oldest one I've done was there was a Fonzie motorcycle game from 1976. I don't know if you guys know Happy Days and the Fonz.
Yes.
He was that was from 1976. That's the oldest one I've done, but I've done 250 of these little. I really don't want to call them documentaries because they're only like 20 to 30 minutes, but retrospectives, I guess you could call them.
Yeah.
But they're just anything and everything is just there's that you could possibly think of. I've covered, but I've covered the first 3 Mortal Kombat games, so number 4 is probably on the horizon.
Nice.
Oh, that's exciting. We definitely look forward to that one. Again, Mortal Kombat 4 was the last Mortal Kombat game to be released in arcade, so definitely can't wait to get your perspective on that. Not to mention, you dig really deep into the history of these games and the programmers and the history. It's just really fascinating. Which, not to mention, if you guys haven't noticed already, he's got such a very relaxing voice, which, you're basically the Bob Ross of video game talks.
It's funny because somebody said you're like the Bob Ross of video games in one of my comments. So that's when I decided to create the thumbnail with me with the Bob Ross wig, and that's where I came up with, instead of Happy Little Trees, it was Happy Little Games.
Yup.
So
every time we've been promoting your show, we've been saying Happy Little Games. No, I absolutely love your material. Let me ask you this. I know it's probably like a Sophie's choice, but what documentaries that you've done, or your many videos that you've done, are you most proud of?
I'll tell you one. It's kind of a long story, but
we're here.
So I will show for people who haven't seen my videos before, I'll show the arcade versions, and then I'll show each and every computer version, console version, etc. So I show 20 seconds of gameplay for each one. So in those 20 seconds of gameplay, I will time out those segments. By doing that, I count into the microphone. Now, when I'm counting, typically I mute that. Well, there was one occasion I didn't. So when I was counting like a mongoloid. I do that because my kids would always hear me counting and they would make fun of me for it, so I really exaggerated. Well, this one time I forgot to mute the microphone and I got so much shit from people saying, "Oh, you screwed up, you left your microphone on, bop, 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 bop." So I created a video where I learned to count, and I said I can now count to 15 because I now have a YouTube channel. And I created a 4 or 5 minute video of it. And it's just me being a smart ass, but it was just in response to that. So that's probably my favorite out of all the ones I've done.
Nice.
As silly as that sounds.
No, that's awesome. And what was, let me ask you this. What was I know you said you grew up in the bowling alley one, but what was the moment that you knew, what game was it that captivated you and you said that was the moment that you were going to be a gamer and you were never going to stop?
Probably Pac-Man.
Makes
the
sense.
Pac-Man.
I get Pac-Man. For the record, that's why I chose Pac-Man as our background tonight. Not to mention, Pat, here's something you'll appreciate. My parents, God bless my parents, Pac-Man was their game too. They're not really gamers anymore, per se.
Jay was conceived on Pac-Man.
Yes. My parents met in 1980, right when Pac-Man came out, and that was like Pac-Man fever, and that's what got my parents into it. My parents were diehard Pac-Man fans, and then after they had kids, they didn't, they stopped playing games. But before they had kids, Pac-Man was so
huge. I mean, it was so huge back then in the golden age of arcades, and I always talk about that in my videos, but up until like 83, 84, Pac-Man was so big, it was routine to walk into an arcade and see 5 Pac-Man machines all lined up side by side, and every single one of them full. And there'd be quarters on the machine for each person who had the next game, and then there'd be 3 Donkey Kong machines, and those would all be full. And it was just a phenomenon. I mean, kind of like, as you've experienced with Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat in your lifetime.
Yes. Now, let me ask you this. What before Pac-Man, I know Space Invaders was a thing too. Was Space Invaders a big part of your life, like in the late 70s, early 80s as well?
Yeah, I played it a bit, but not a whole lot. I mean, I think it was the black and white graphics kind of threw me off. Mm-hmm. But I mean, once Pac-Man came out with its full color graphics and just the pick up and play it, and all the games were easy to play back then. I shouldn't say that, but I mean, just the color graphics and the sounds and everything, it was just like the next level when compared to Space Invaders.
Yeah. Now, also, I know you're a father, and you've been pretty vocal in a couple of your videos about, that this stuff, this is knowledge and stuff that you passionate you share with your children. What was the game that you were most excited and first shared with your children?
The first game I played with my son, because my son is the oldest one. He was, let's see, when the first Lego Batman came out, I played through that one, and I gave him a controller that was unplugged. So he was pretending to play it with me, but then when Lego Batman 2 came out, he was old enough that we could enjoy it together, and we've been playing the Lego games ever since. So
nice.
And now my daughter, I play games with my daughter too, and so it runs in the family.
That's wonderful.
That's awesome.
Now, shifting away from arcade games, what's your favorite era, or what's your favorite like console era of console games?
I would have to say, because similar to Pac-Man, I would have to say the original NES, because it was just everywhere. It was synonymous with gaming. I mean, people wouldn't ask to go play games; they would ask to go play Nintendo.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just the way it was when I was probably 12 when I got my original NES.
Wow.
So I would say that's my favorite. What about you guys?
For me, hands down, it was the 16-bit era. Super Nintendo still is to this day my favorite gaming console of all time. Now I played everything. Like, I'll say this: like, I never owned an NES, but all my friends did. Genesis for Christmas, back in like first grade. But then I spent like months mowing lawns so I could have enough money to buy a Super Nintendo. So I had both the Genesis and Super Nintendo. So to me, that's the era that whole collections, Nintendo Switch Online, etc., etc., etc. But yeah, I don't think I'll ever outgrow the 16-bit era. As great as I love playing the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, some of these modern games, Mortal Kombat obviously is my favorite, but it was really the 16-bit era I'll never outgrow.
How great is it that retro gaming is in such games getting re-released on the Switch and on the PS5 and on Xbox Live? It's a great time to be a retro gamer, because all these games that we wouldn't have had, we now have access to.
You're absolutely right, but the one thing that hurts the most, now I don't know if you experienced this, I don't know if you were smart and kept everything, but my biggest regret in my life, honestly, God, we shouldn't have any regrets, but I do have this regret. I wish I kept every single game and every single game system I've ever owned. Okay. I didn't know it was going to be worth as much money as it is worth now. I wish I could send a message to little Jay and say, Jason, do not sell your consoles, do not sell your games. You'll be able to retire at 30. Save them. I didn't foresee it coming. I honestly, God, I did not foresee that coming. So it's really, really, it's painful. It's as great as it is to be a retro gamer. It kind of hurts at the same time, because like I had all these great games, and I see how much they're worth on eBay.
Right.
I see how much they're worth at convention circuits, and it kills me, Pat. It kills me.
I used to go to the yard sales and the Goodwill stores and things like that, and just to pick up old games, and I would routinely find Atari 2600 systems for $3. I'd find games for $1. I would find Nintendo systems for $3 as well, and it's just crazy how the prices have shot through the roof. You can't even do that nowadays. It's unheard of.
Now, as for me, what my era was, I mean, yes, I had Sega Super NES like Jay did, but it really didn't hit me that games would be as good as they are until PlayStation hit. As soon as PlayStation hit, I knew that was it. I was hooked.
It was remarkable back then, but when you look back, I'm sorry, Joe, I don't mean to interrupt, but when you look back at the 32-bit and the 64-bit era, it didn't age well, but the 16-bit era did.
There's lots of, well, that's because of the polygons and the jagged lines and things like that. Everything looks kind of pretty blocky, and that's just the PlayStation. That's not even talking about the Sega Saturn. But
yeah,
that was even just a bit worse. But you know, I had like I said, I had an NES growing up. My parents didn't have a whole lot of money, so I got it for Christmas one year, and of course it came with Mario. So I never got any more games for it. I just rented everything and tried to beat those games in one night, so I wouldn't have to spend my money.
Hey, Joe, you should tell Pat, since you just brought up PlayStation, Joe, what was the game? Well, just tell Pat your favorite game. I want to hear Pat's opinion on this game.
The game that really hooked me, Resident Evil 2 was and still is the original one from '98 is my favorite game of all time.
All time, huh?
I mean, survival horror when it hit was just a brand new genre, and it took over, and it's still taking over today. So I mean, it's had longevity, and it is special in its own way.
It was really, really good. Have you had a chance to play Resident Evil in VR?
Yes.
What do you think of that?
I played 7 in VR. It's good and everything, but it's hard to get used to. You know, anything VR is hard to get used to because the gimmick only works with certain games. So you really have to find the right niche game for it to work.
VR always intrigued me ever since '91 when I first started reading.
For sure, eye tracking and ray tracing and everything. It's just they've come a long way. It's still got a long way to go, but there are certain games on it that you can't play any other way.
Right.
Patman, were you into Resident Evil at all, or do you have a favorite Resident Evil game?
Oh, I would say, well, the first one, it's kind of hard to beat the first one for me because that was like the start of it. But I mean, before that though, there was I don't know if you guys know computer games a whole lot, but there was a game called Alone in the Dark.
Yes.
That actually came out before Resident Evil, so that was kind of like the original one.
Yeah,
not quite as good.
Yeah,
precursor to it, but I mean, it was okay. But I would say the first one just for the nostalgia factor.
Yeah,
absolutely. Now,
although I really sorry, let me interrupt you real quick. Although I really did like 7 as well, though, since you did mention that one.
Yeah, 7 brought it back to its roots.
Right.
Yeah, it's just so funny, Pat. Like, I want to ask you because you just mentioned Alone in the Dark. I feel like Resident Evil was the first time in my lifetime as a gamer that like a game could be scary, keep you on the edge of your seat, the jump scares. I never experienced anything like that in my life. When I heard people at school talk about how quote-unquote scary the game is, I was like, in the back of my, I'm like laughing, like, there's no way a video game could be scary and this and that. So Patman, was there a game, like, was Alone in the Dark that game that, like, gave, like, you know, put you on edge, like, scared you, make you jump and stuff like that?
Yeah, there was, it was a LucasArts game or Lucasfilm game for the Atari 800 called Rescue on something. I can't think what it's called. Fractalis, I believe. And it's, you're on this alien planet and you're cruising along, and all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, these creatures will jump on your ship and they will attack you and they'll come in and kill you. There's nothing in the manual about it. There's nothing that will give you any indication as to what's happening. But that was like the first truly scary jump scare for me, anyway. And that was 1984, I think, 1985. So it was quite a while ago.
Oh yeah.
Now, I never get sick of asking this question, knowing that you're a Mortal Kombat fan, and we've had a lot of Mortal Kombat YouTubers on here, Tabmuck99, the guys from Komi Dogu, Mad Mike Jones, and David Craddock, who's a video game author and he's also a documentary filmmaker. I never get tired of asking this question, but please tell us a story, your perspective when you first experienced Mortal Kombat, and of course, please share what your favorite Mortal Kombat game and your favorite Mortal Kombat character is.
Favorite game is Mortal Kombat 2. Let's just get that out of the way.
Yes.
Just made Jay's day.
I don't know what happened with number 3. You know, when they do a fatality on somebody and like 9 rib cages fall out and 13 arms and legs fall out and they look like mannequin parts, I don't get it. I don't know what they were going for. I mean, come on. But favorite character probably Scorpion, I guess. Maybe. First time I saw Mortal Kombat, walked into an arcade and there was about 9 people around and they kept uppercutting people and this blood was just flying everywhere. And I'm like, holy cow, what is this? And then they did the Sub-Zero fatality and it's like, holy moly, look out. So I was hooked ever since.
You know, my story was pretty much the exact same way, except I wasn't at an arcade. Now, I know you live in the Illinois area. Did you guys ever have the department store Hills out that way?
No.
Okay. There was a store out here on the East Coast, Hills. Obviously, they're long gone now. They got bought by Ames. Then Kmart bought Ames. And now Kmart's been... Then Kmart bought Sears, and now we can barely... I don't even know if Kmart's still around anymore. But anyway...
No, they both went...
Yeah, they're both gone, yeah.
Long before Kmart, long before Sears, long before Ames, there was a store called Hills. And over in Syracuse, on one of the main drags called Erie Boulevard in Syracuse, there was a store called Hills, and I remember we were in line at the checkout. My mom gives me a quarter and says, hey, go to the gumball machine, get you something. And then next to the gumball machine was a Mortal Kombat arcade machine, and I couldn't believe what I seen. Then my mom came over, and she was shocked. And yeah, that was my and it was because of the head rip and everything. And then my mom, oh my gosh, of course my mom's the stereotypical Mexican lady, pray on the rosary. So her reaction to Mortal Kombat was really over the top, and she was not having it. I'll leave it at that.
What's your favorite character?
My favorite character is actually portrayed by Carlos Pacino. My favorite character is Raiden.
Nice.
Raiden's my favorite character. Batman, let me tell you something. When you look at the... Oh, it's hanging up. I can't grab it. But when you first look at the character select screen of Mortal Kombat, Raiden's the one that stood out to me. When you see the glowing eyes and the rice hat and the lightning behind him,
yeah, sure.
I zeroed in on him. And that was a character that I got attached to. And the fact that he was a god in disguise, and, you know, then they kind of retconned him a little bit that he was the protector of Earth and whatnot, but seeing that character, but keep in mind, I never saw Big Trouble in Little China, but seeing
I never did either. I never saw that movie either.
Yeah, I've seen it now, but prior to Mortal Kombat, I'd never seen it, So yeah, that was the character I got hooked and I have an emotional attachment to, was Raiden. And Raiden's been a favorite character, you know, the teleport, the flying dash, the lightning. I've always been hooked on Raiden, but my second favorite is Sub-Zero.
Mm-hmm.
I know everybody says Scorpion, but I feel like Sub-Zero is the better written character, and he's had the most fascinating story arc. And by the way, the violence is what got my attention, but it's the story that's kept me coming back all these years, and that's why Mortal Kombat is my all-time favorite game. Mortal Kombat 2 is my all-time favorite game, and that's why it's my favorite franchise.
When you go to when you're speaking of just the first Mortal Kombat game, Sub-Zero was my favorite in the first one. For some reason, that blue cloak caught my eye. Maybe it's because of Batman. I really don't know. I hadn't even really thought about it until just now, but maybe it's because of Batman. I don't know. But Scorpion or Sub-Zero was my favorite in the first game. Scorpion in the second, and then after that, it's kind of interchangeable.
Also, so you just mentioned Batman. I know you are a diehard Batman fan. I saw in one of your videos you're showing off your Batman collection and whatnot.
Yeah.
Who was your Batman? What got you into Batman?
Growing up, it was I was 4 and 5 years old, and I would see the Adam West show on TV.
Yep.
And then, of course, Michael Keaton. And Michael Keaton's my favorite Batman. But then I love Adam West. Christian Bale was great. Ben Affleck was great. I could have done without the nipples on George Clooney. But I'll tell you what, here's something that a lot of people don't know. Back in 1997, I had a Batman and Robin website, and all I was doing I was taking images from the magazine, scanning them in, posting it, just professing my love, kind of promote the movie a little bit, looking forward to it. Okay, Poison Ivy looks kind of crappy. Yeah. Mr. Freeze looks like the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz. Okay, it might be okay. George Clooney, he's that doctor from ER, but he might be okay. And then I sat down and watched it with she became my wife, but at the time she was my girlfriend. And he pulls out that back credit card. And my wife looks at me, and I'm so ashamed I can't even look at her. I'm just so embarrassed. It was just beyond awful. I could not believe how bad that movie was. So this website, 2 weeks before the premiere, Warner Brothers sends me a cease and desist and makes me take the website down for some reason. I don't know why. But there were other Batman and Robin web pages out there, but mine was the only one that Warner Brothers actually made me take down. So don't know what that was about.
It's funny you mentioned Warner Brothers. So how obviously we mentioned that we sell our T-shirts and whatnot. We had a really awesome Batman themed design based off the Pattinson, the recent Pattinson. Yes, the Pattinson movie. And lo and behold, as soon as we put it up, Patman, because of our NerdCage fan base loves Batman so much, we sold like 10 shirts in a week.
Wow.
For us, that's tremendous. We usually sell like 4 or 5 shirts a month, but we sold 10 in like a week. And then it did not take long, Joe, for Warner Brothers to come knocking on our door, and they took down T-Public automatically took down our shirt, our Batman shirt.
Oh my gosh!
I was so mad.
And what was the reasoning?
It's just funny because, like you said, the Warner Brothers, they did the same thing to us with a Batman themed T-shirt.
That's terrible. I mean, all you're doing is you're helping promote that brand awareness. And yes, it's not an official thing, but how close was your logo to their logo?
And we used the Batman logo simulator.
But that's all it was.
Yeah. Yep. But it sucks. It is what it is.
It didn't even say Batman on it. It said NerdCage Live.
Yeah, it said NerdCage Live in Batman font. But you knew what it was because it had like the crest in the letters. And
by the way, let me give you guys props for those T-shirts that you showed at the beginning. Some of those had some really cool designs. I especially like that NerdCage Live one.
Yeah, we were afraid of this because we did an SNES one and Nintendo took it down, so we're afraid.
Yeah, but so far so good.
This one's been up so long now that I think we're in the clear.
Yeah, they. Oh, by the way, just want to say shout out to our friends Doomzilla and Tyler from Joe Blow in the chat.
Yes.
Tyler just said that. Yeah, Joe, go ahead and get that comment right there.
He said Warner Brothers also been pain in the ass on YouTube lately, so.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. But yeah, they haven't said anything about our Nintendo 64 design, so fingers crossed. And this is the longest, because usually Nintendo's like quick about taking stuff down.
Oh yeah.
They haven't taken down our Zelda stuff. They haven't taken down the N64 shirt, so I think we're fine. Because based on history, usually our shirts get taken down within a week. If like a company doesn't like it. And so far we've had the N64 up for like over a month and a half now. So far so good.
I don't know if you guys were fans of the home computers, the Commodore 64, the Amiga, things like that.
That was beyond my time.
Yeah, it was 85, 86. So I had one growing up, but
so
yeah. So I'm on a forum called Lemon 64. There's for a number of years, this guy was teasing Super Mario 64 coming to the Commodore 60, or not 64. I'm sorry, Super Mario. No, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Super Mario coming to the Commodore 64. So he had been teasing it for literally a number of years because it's just one guy doing this homebrew project. As soon as it was posted, within 12 hours, Nintendo served him with a cease and desist. That quick. And it's it's a 35-year-old computer. He's not making any money off it. It was free to download, but Nintendo still made him take it down.
Nintendo's been on a mission lately. I don't know if you read in the news, like they're going after all these old emulator sites.
Yes.
Like crazy. And my theory to that is because Nintendo's trying to grow their Switch online.
That could be.
I think that's what it is.
Well, it was that Yuzu Switch emulator they just shut down about a week ago, if you guys saw that.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, so... but yeah, that happened about 10, 15 years ago, too. They shut down all these ROM sites, and then gradually, one by one, they went back up. Because there for a while, you couldn't find ROMs anywhere. So...
Okay, here's how I honestly look at it. And this is just my perspective, whether anyone agrees with me or not. Do I think it's stealing? Yes and no. If there's no possible way to get games or games that they no longer make or no longer find, I don't find emulation as theft. But if they are accessible, then it is. That's just my opinion. So
I agree 100%.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think if Nintendo's going to take down emulations of games that are no longer available, then they have to look into making those games available in one way or another on their own platforms.
Take a look at, so if you go back into arcades and that literally thousands of arcade games that have come out across the world.
Yeah.
90% of those have never been released on a home system. So the only way to get those is through emulation, which technically is illegal.
Yeah,
however,
MAME is one of the ones I
MAME,
used to
right?
use.
MAME, yeah, I've been using MAME since like 1996, 1997.
Yeah.
So it's been, it's absolutely preserving what's out there, and
yeah,
it's too bad that more of these games aren't readily available. But what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
And of course, like a buddy of mine has a Raspberry Pi and swears by it. So
yeah, that's a lot of people do. Hey, going back to violent games really quick. Have you guys ever seen the game Chiller, the arcade game?
I think I've heard of it. I don't think I played it.
It was a light gun game, came out in 1986 by Exidy. And basically, these people are strapped to boards, and you have to torture them with your gun. So you're shooting off limbs, you're maiming them, you are, it's extremely violent. A lot of times when if it was in an arcade, it would be in the back, so little kids couldn't access it.
Yeah.
And this came out a full 6 years before Mortal Kombat did. So check that out if you guys haven't seen that.
I think it's funny that they have games like that kind of flew under the radar. Mortal Kombat was the one they kind of latched onto and started doing the ESRB rating boards and stuff.
Yeah, to tag on to what Joe was saying, and Ed Boon has publicly said it, was, there were violent games before Mortal Kombat, even some that exceeded what Mortal Kombat did, but the thing is, Mortal Kombat was so popular, mainstream
That's exactly
and popular.
what it was.
That's what it was. So, like, that game that you just I never heard of it, so it wasn't like, oh my god, like, what the hell, because if I haven't heard it, there's probably a lot of people who didn't hear of it, but Mortal Kombat, we all knew.
Well,
and caught Oprah's attention.
There's a certain channel on YouTube by the name of PatManQC that has a history of Chiller, so you guys should check it out.
Yes.
Definitely.
Again, let me just reiterate to everybody of NerdCage Nation, please subscribe to PatManQC. He just, like I said, any arcade game you can think of that you've heard of, he's covered. And if there's any game that you've never heard of, he's covered. So by all means, check it out. It's relaxing, it's soothing, and it's just fun to watch. So yeah, by all means, check out PatManQC's videos over on his channel. 84,000 subscribers. Also join his Patreon if you have the money to do so. By all means, join his. I'm a Patreon member of his. Join his Patreon. So and Patman,
I really appreciate that.
No problem. So, just from what I know, you usually release, like one video a month, it seems like the pace you go at?
No. It's about one video every 10 days.
Oh, okay. I feel like...
Yeah, it's like 3 to 4 videos a month. I do everything myself. I do the research, I do the script writing, I do the production, I do the voiceover, gameplay, all that stuff. So
that is amazing.
That's a lot of work.
That's amazing. I see.
But it's
That,
fun.
that I did not know. I didn't know you had some people helping you behind the scenes or not. So you do everything.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Call me.
No, I'm a little nosy. Is it safe to say, are you basically a full-time content maker?
Well, I mean, yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's you know, I am disabled. You know, I'm sure you guys know that.
Yes, absolutely. And also, like, again, an amazing story, and it's just fascinating that you don't let your physical disability stop you from doing the stuff that you love.
No, one of the first things I loved was bowling, and that's when I first started my YouTube channel. I was looking at things. I was trying to find something that other people hadn't done, and you know, most people hadn't done bowling video game videos.
Yeah.
So I ended up I started with that, and then I switched over to just doing history. But started out bowling when I was really young, and then after I got sick in 2015. I came down with pneumonia, which turned septic, and ended up losing my arms and my legs. So after rehab and all that stuff, I got back to bowling, got back to doing my artwork. I go out, I bowl once a week now, go to movies, things like that. Play video games still. I figured out a way how to play video games still, for the most part. Yeah. I have trouble with first-person shooters, but with everything else, I can play all the retro stuff, which only requires a few buttons at a time. I can handle.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's absolutely amazing, and it's definitely inspiring, and just a message to everybody. Like, by the way, I did watch the news story, because I think you posted it. I watched that news coverage. It was definitely amazing to watch.
Thanks.
Also, I want to point out too, is like your content. I mean, I wouldn't have known that, you know, you were physically disabled. You know, if I didn't see that video. It's just to show you like how like you don't let anything get in your way for you making content and playing games and doing all this stuff that, you know, like some people would just give up on it, but you don't. You do your thing, and it's just it's inspiring, and it's beautiful, and it's awesome, and it's just like.
Thanks. I really appreciate that. You know, I mean, I was never one to just sit around and just kind of waste away, but I mean,
yeah.
I think everybody has that strength inside of them, but until
Absolutely.
they go through it, they don't know where that strength is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one of those things that you know, I like doing what I do, and it's I've got my 2 kids. If I didn't have my kids with me, it'd be a bit rougher. But
yeah,
they're my guiding light, if I could say that.
Yes.
God bless you, and God bless your family. It's absolutely amazing. It's one of many reasons why you're one of my favorite content makers, because support you is because of that. It's just like, yeah, and again, we also appreciate you coming on here and sharing that with everybody. And I want.
Oh, absolutely. You bet.
Yeah,
like I said,
I'm glad that
whatever
everybody's
you
here
guys
to
need,
hear it. What's that?
Whatever you guys need, you let me know. I'm there for you. So I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We got your back no matter what. All right. So, also, you're a big wrestling fan too.
I am. Yes.
What got you in the who was the wrestler? What was the era that like got you into wrestling and got you hooked?
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
WrestleMania 1. I can
WrestleMania
recall
1. Okay, you're an OG.
WrestleMania 1.
OG gamer
Actually,
and OG wrestling WWE
yes.
fan.
Yes. Even before that, though, there was the war to settle the score on MTV. It was Hulk Hogan and Mr. T. Hulk Hogan versus Piper, and then Mr. T came out, and that was to set up WrestleMania 1. I was watching it with my dad and my brother. So they had this big melee at the end, and everybody's throwing punches, and they're getting thrown around, and so my dad starts laughing to my brother and says, "Yeah, they probably have a beer in the back when they're all done." And I'm like, "What? What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, it's all fake." And that was WrestleMania 1. So I've been hooked ever since.
Now,
Yeah,
have you
I
been
know.
to any WrestleManias, or do you go to like the wrestling live?
Not WrestleManias. I've never done that, and the ticket prices are just beyond ridiculous now.
Yeah.
But not WrestleMania, but live events. I've been to probably 30 or 40.
Oh, nice.
Live events, and I don't know if you guys are wrestling fans or not, but
Joe
as I
is.
got
Joe's
older,
not. Joe's a
Attitude
wrestling fan.
Era. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. As I got older, my taste matured, and I went from Hulk Hogan to Ric Flair. So Ric Flair is my all-time favorite now. Actually, I saw him lose the title to Ricky Steamboat in Chicago. I saw him win the title from Ronnie Garvin in Chicago. I saw him and Roddy Piper versus Kevin Nash and Scott Hall and Moline. Yeah, just all over the place.
Yeah, I started a little late. I was more The Rock, Stone Cold.
Oh, that was such a great time.
Stuff like that. The Attitude Era.
DX, all that stuff. Yeah, that was a great era.
It's funny you mentioned Mr. T and Hulk Hogan and everything because, we're big Rocky fans over here. And shout out to Thunder Lips. So.
That's the name of the game, brother.
Yes.
Why'd you
but
go
yeah, Hulk
crazy
Hogan's
out
big
there?
influence too. So I enjoyed that. Not too much for the NWO stuff, but I always like the full American Hulkamania type stuff with Hulk Hogan. But it's anything in the Attitude Era was great.
let me tell you a really quick Stone Cold story. So after the matches here in Moline, we would go to Denny's, which was right by the airport, and that was where the wrestlers would always go because the hotels are right by the airport. So we're sitting there, and as we're walking in, CM Punk, Edge, and Christian are walking out. So I just kind of said, "Hey, Punk, nice match." He's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, great, thanks, appreciate it." So we go in and sit down, and as we're sitting there eating, here comes Stone Cold and his wife walking through the door, and they sit down right next to us at Denny's. And immediately, 30 or 40 people get in line at his table for an autograph. I mean, the poor guy. It's just I can't imagine having that kind of popularity, that kind of fame.
Yeah. Sure. By the way, Patman, I'm going to make a clip out of it hopefully this weekend. But last week, just to share this with you real quick. Last week, our guest Mike. I'm a metalhead and I'm a hardcore guy and I'm a straight edge. I really like CM Punk. I'm a straight edge. Last week, our guest Mike Valenti he plays in an Albany-based band called Brick by Brick. Hardcore guy. He also books shows for a living too, and he's been around Fozzy, the band Fozzy. It's Chris Jericho's band, and well, he shared some. I'm not gonna go into details, but he shared some a hilarious Chris Jericho story. So if you ever get the chance, and you want to laugh, check out the Chris Jericho story from last week's live stream. It was hilarious.
Awesome, I'll check it out.
Yeah, I had a couple of wrestling encounters. Like I worked in radio for a number of years, so I met the Big Show when WWE came to Syracuse. Shaking his hand was like shaking it was like shaking a catcher's mitt. His hand was huge.
I believe it.
And I've met Chris Jericho myself because I'm a Fozzy fan, and also, now I've never met Shawn Michaels, but I don't know if I would call it a funny story, but Joe knows the story. Shawn Michaels got into a bar fight in Syracuse and got jumped.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, jumped by seven people, 7 Marines.
Yeah, okay, that happened in our backyard. That happened in our backyard.
No kidding, wow.
Yeah, right in Syracuse, yep. So that's a few wrestling things. I don't know, I'm trying to think of anything else that comes to mind.
Yeah, I haven't met any big ones, but I did meet Carlito once.
Oh, that's cool.
I think I was wearing a Triple H shirt or something, and he looked straight at me and he goes, "You need to step up your game. Get yourself a Carlito shirt."
Mick Foley's coming to Syracuse this weekend to do. He's doing autographs at the mall, I think. I'm trying to think who else. I know Ric Flair came here a few years ago doing autographs. Patman, who do you think is the best wrestler turned actor?
Wrestler turned actor. Well, I mean, the most successful, obviously, is The Rock. I mean, he's the biggest movie star in the world.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know how great of an actor the guy is, but, I mean, he's pretty entertaining, even in the movies. I mean, you look at Jumanji and some of these other movies he's made. So, I don't know. What do you guys think?
No, I would say The Rock, but John Cena's starting to, capitalize.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he just did that crazy thing at the Oscars, so.
That was funny.
That was great.
Honestly, I think it's Batista right now.
Oh, Batista. Jeez, I forgot about him.
Yeah.
I know he can't do comedy like John Cena can. He doesn't have the timing that John Cena has, especially in like Peacemaker and stuff. But man, when you see Batista in 007, and then of course most recently Dune, I gotta get.
I have not seen Dune.
I think you would love it, Pat. But
you know, speaking of Batista though, he was good in Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, he had really good comic timing in that. So yeah, I can see that. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many of them out there, but I think right now Batista right now is the best one.
I thought you were going to say Hulk.
The biggest one, but
I thought you were going to say Hulk Hogan and Mr. Nanny.
You know what? Patman, I have a soft spot for No Holds Barred and Suburban Commando. I have soft spot for those movies.
Commando, yes.
I have not seen Suburban Commando. I have seen No Holds Barred, but not Suburban Commando.
Oh, if you get a chance, it's great.
Yeah. And obviously, you know, being a Rocky fan, Rocky 3 is my third favorite Rocky movie. No pun intended.
What is your favorite?
The first one.
Yeah, he loves the first one.
The first one's not only my favorite Rocky movie, but it's my all-time favorite movie. I'm a diehard Rocky fan.
Really? Okay. I really like it too. I'm trying to think which one's my favorite. I would say probably the third one's probably my favorite. Yeah, I would agree.
I always say 4. I always say 4. I'm a sucker for the montages and everything. And
4 was the first one I saw in the theaters, so I like that one too.
However, I think me and Jay are in agreement that the director's cut is better than the original.
Yeah, where they took the robot out, among
others?
Yeah.
My only problem with the director's cut, and it bothers me to this day, is that they took out the speech Apollo gave Rocky in the locker room, the us against them speech. That bothered me.
I don't recall that. Huh.
That bothered me, but I prefer the director's cut. And yes, me and Joe saw that one in the theaters. It was great. By the way, we've covered like the anniversaries of Rocky, and in June we're covering Rocky 2 because Rocky 2 turns 45 in June. We're gonna be covering Rocky 2 in depth in a couple months, and I'm really, really excited.
I will check it out.
Man, I'm a huge boxing fan as well. So.
Oh, okay. You looking forward to Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul?
I hope he wipes the floor with you.
Yes and no. I don't like these gimmicky fights. But I'm kind of hoping that Mike Tyson just puts Jake Paul away.
Just one good shot, right?
It's all it takes. It's all it takes. But I'll give the Paul brothers credit for taking advantage. The way they're making money, they're doing it right. They're being selective with their fights, and they're making money off of it. And I just don't like what boxing's become, but it is what it is. But give them props. They're doing their thing to make money. I will say this. I think those guys were made for wrestling. I think they're I think they're great at what they do. They can play the heel over at WWE. They can stay over there because obviously they're not going to fight a real boxing match. And when they did, they lost. Like Jake Paul lost to Tommy Fury, who's not even that great, and now he's going to go up Mike Tyson. I expect Mike Tyson to win. So hopefully this will put an end to the circus, and they can go over to WWE and they can do their thing there. And I think they would do a great job.
Well, with any kind of pro wrestling, you know, the larger than life personalities, that's what people are drawn to. And the athletic skills too. I mean, if you have a really huge personality, like, well, look at Logan Paul in WWE. I mean, the guy can wrestle, and he's also got that. People just hate that guy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and he's good at what he does, and not to mention those kids wrestled in college too. So.
Right. Hey, I got one for you. Favorite boxing video game?
Yes, honestly, I think it's Fight Night Round 3.
Yeah. Fight Night Round 3.
Yeah, that's good. You guys ever play the old Ring King arcade game?
Yes.
I like that game as well.
That one's good too.
Real basic, but it's fun.
If you have to go back to Nintendo, I have to go with Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
I love the Punch Out game. Super Punch Out.
Yeah.
How could I forget that? Yeah, good call.
Yeah, I like the as far as cartoon boxing, I like Super Punch Out and the not the original Punch Out, but the Punch Out on the Wii. I like that one a lot. But for me, it's always Fight Night Round 3. Hence, and I played all the Fight Night games and Knockout Kings. Fight Night Round 3 was by far the best one, and
that was
it drives me nuts that EA will not bring that back. And they're doing the UFC games, and they're putting boxers in the UFC games. But I don't like that. I want them to go back to Fight Night. I would love a brand new Fight Night game.
I would assume it was profitable. I mean, they made 3 of them, so I mean.
Oh no, they made 5 of them. There's if you include Knockout Kings, there's like 7 of them because there's Knockout Kings, and then Knockout Kings became Fight Night, and then they did Fight Night Round 1, Fight Night Round 2, Fight Night Round 3, then Fight Night Round 4, and then Fight Night Pro I don't know what the 5th one was called, but they made a bunch of them. And they just stopped. Okay. But we're all down on EA games right now.
Doesn't
and if you're going like boxing, wrestling, street fight type games that are underrated. Remember Def Jam Vendetta?
Oh my God, that was great.
I used to love those.
Well, you know, it was based on the old Aki engine that No Mercy and WrestleMania 2000 was based on.
Oh yeah.
That they used. So those were classic wrestling games. Those are some of my favorite. And if you like wrestling games, of course you got to mention Fire Pro. That's up there too. I don't know if you guys have played that.
Wrestling games, dude, I would go down a rabbit hole with wrestling games with character creation, because I would create I created hundreds of characters. So it was crazy. Yeah. The entrances and everything, especially back when you had like the original Raw on Xbox, because you could put your own music on the Xbox and come out to whatever you want.
Yeah, that was really cool. That was the first time they allowed you to do that.
Yeah, and I don't think they've been able to do that since, unless you count Spotify, which you really have to time.
Right.
By the way, Patman, I loved it when you did the video for the WrestleMania arcade.
Oh yeah, that was a good
brought
one.
back memories. I loved that game because it was basically Mortal Kombat, but with wrestlers.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I mean, I'm always a hardcore wrestling fan, but I really liked that game just because I liked Mortal Kombat so much, and then you took all these larger than life wrestlers and you put them in there, and it was fun, and they had secrets, and Undertaker had his fatality, just all kinds of really cool things. I actually, when I made that video, I was able to speak to, what was his name? The guy that designed it, Mark Turmel? Yeah, Mark Turmel. I spoke with him. He was the original designer, and he gave me lots of little info. Like, for example, The Undertaker would not do any moves until he had a bottle of Jack Daniels in his hand. He would not do any motion capture until he had a bottle of Jack Daniels. It took Yokozuna and Mr. Fuji an hour to walk from the front of the building to the back of the building because they were so slow. So just little tidbits like that. So if you guys like stuff like that, there's lots more in that video if you guys haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, well, let's check it out for sure.
Definitely a fantastic video. I think the Undertaker's my favorite wrestler just because, come on.
That entrance, boy, that entrance was unreal.
Yeah, and it's just crazy that he didn't he just recently unretire?
No, he's still retired, but now he's doing, like, you know, you've heard of these one-man shows. Well, now he's doing one dead-man shows. So he's going around the country doing these live Q&A sessions.
Yeah, it's just crazy because what's amazing, he basically never broke character for like 30 years, and now that he's retired,
30 years, right? 30 years, isn't that amazing?
Yeah, the funny thing is,
unless you count his biker persona.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, but funny story. Well, first of all, I watched him on Joe Rogan, and I watched him on Mike Tyson's podcast. But our English teacher from high school, Mr. Shepard, he was a bodybuilder, and he worked for, and I think he still to this day still works for Gold's Gym. He said he bumped into Undertaker, and Undertaker walked right up to him. And he walked up right up close to him, stared him down, and just asked him, "Hey, do you know where I can get a smoothie?" Oh man, I thought that was one of the greatest stories he told us back in high school. But from what I see, he basically never broke character, even when he was out in public, and now we see him in all these podcasts and doing these shows. It's like, oh wow, we actually get to know the guy now.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, and some of those guys were old school until the very end, and they would not break character. They wouldn't do shoot interviews. They wouldn't do anything like that. So it is cool to hear these stories. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos now where they showcase all the moments where they tried to make each other break and they tried to make them laugh and stuff. And you can tell that's hilarious.
Stone Cold said there was one time he made the Undertaker break, and he forgot exactly. I forget exactly what it was, but there was only one time out of all the times he wrestled that the Undertaker actually broke character. So that's a lot of dedication right there.
Oh yeah.
You know what? I'm surprised that Stone Cold's acting career didn't take off, because I mean you look at Batista, Cena, and The Rock, but whenever Stone Cold was in the movie, he was like great. Like, for example, The Longest Yard, he played one of the prison guards.
Yes.
And then he'd also did this movie called The Condemned, which was an awesome fucking movie.
I've seen that. Yep.
And of course, The Expendables, when he was the villain. And he, fun fact, Sylvester Stallone got rushed to the hospital when during that fight scene. He had to get a neck brace.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, he caused Stallone to get a neck brace because he roughed him up so bad.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know
I'm
that.
just saying, like, Stone Cold's been great in everything he's been in, and I'm just surprised that his post after he was done wrestling, I'm surprised that he never had like his acting career didn't take off.
What other wrestlers were in The Longest Yard? Was it Kevin Nash? Was he in that?
And Goldberg. I remember Goldberg was in it.
Right.
God, I haven't watched that movie since Joe and I saw that back. Joe and I saw it in the theaters. There was a bunch of them.
I want to see that giant Great Khali, the big Indian guy, the tall guy.
Oh yeah, the one he broke.
I think he was in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Oh, he broke my nosey.
Broke my fucking nose.
I think my favorite wrestling comedy movie still has to be Ready to Rumble.
Yeah, that's really good too.
Yeah.
Did you now, since you're a comic book fans, I assume you guys have seen maybe the Punisher movie with John Travolta?
We love the Punisher. We love the Punisher.
With Kevin Nash in it?
Yeah. He was the Russian, yeah.
Right. Do you guys realize when they're having that fight and Thomas Jane stabs him in the shoulder?
Oh, he actually stabbed
him. That was real.
He actually stabbed him.
That was real.
A prop knife, but it was real. Yeah. And then he finished the scene before they even did anything. That's how tough Kevin Nash is.
That was that was a great fight scene. By the way, unpopular opinion, I think my favorite Punisher was Ray Stevenson.
Yeah, I thought he was good. Sure.
I mean, say what you want about the movie, but I just feel like Ray Stevenson was just like he was the middle-aged, rugged Punisher, and he had the size and the intimidation. Now, Thomas Jane's a great actor, but he never had like the size to be Frank Castle. I mean, he's great at playing Frank Castle. I just didn't think he had like the size and the intimidation factor like Ray Stevenson did. And so that's why Ray Stevenson's my favorite.
When you look at the current, well, not the current, I should say, like the mid-2000s run of the Punisher Warzone, Punisher Max series. I don't know if you've read that or not, but that old, rugged, Frank Castle has been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
That's who he reminds you of. That's who he reminds me of. Yeah.
I'm a sucker for that show because I'm also a huge fan of The Dark Knight Returns, both the Frank Miller comic and the animated movie. Which is why I know I'm gonna get slaughtered for this. Ben Affleck's my favorite Batman. No, don't worry about it. Michael Keaton is my second favorite, but the reason why I love Ben Affleck is Ben Affleck had the size, the look, and the thing I really liked about his version of Batman. Say what you want about Justice League and Batman v Superman, but what I liked was, and this is where I think Christian Bale screwed up, is I like the fact that Batman was always Batman and Bruce Wayne was the disguise. Like every time he was in public, he put on the Bruce Wayne disguise, and then when he wasn't being seen, he was Batman. He was Batman 24/7, and that's where
straight out of The Dark Knight Returns. Absolutely. There were some scenes that were straight out of the comic in that movie. It was there's a scene where Batman breaks through. They're holding Martha, and
yeah.
Batman breaks through the wall, and the guy says, "I'll kill her," and Batman knocks him out. I mean, it's just I believe you. Straight out of the comic. I had goose chills watching that for the first time. I thought, man,
that
that's
whole
pretty...
warehouse scene. What was so cool about the warehouse scene was the guy who coordinated the warehouse fight was the guy from the Arkham games.
Oh, no kidding. I didn't know that. No wonder they're so similar.
Yeah, the guy from the guy who designed the fights in the Arkham games helped do the warehouse fight scene in Batman v Superman.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that. Very cool. Now, see, even I'm learning things today.
Yeah.
NerdCage. That's why our slogan is you're going to witness the strength of geek knowledge.
And I have two things about the Punisher. One, I might be in a minority, but my favorite Punisher, just because I've had to binge the series, is John Bernthal.
Yeah, he is really good too. Yeah,
he just kind of nailed that, dark grit and troubled acting. So that was pretty good. And then the Punisher game, which I wish they'd remake, because that friggin' video game, being able to torture people and stuff in it was great.
That was really good. Yeah, I only played that a little bit, but I do recall that was pretty good.
Well, Joe, we do have a PlayStation 2. Maybe we can dig it out.
I know, maybe.
One thing about the Punisher series on Netflix, one thing, something that that character that the other ones weren't allowed to do was the character development. I mean, they had 13 episodes to tell his story, and it was fantastic. It was really, really good. So I really like that series too.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the series, but I did watch Daredevil. So I saw the season 2 of Daredevil, and I saw him in there, but I didn't watch the Punisher series. So maybe
Defenders is really good too. If you haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Pat, it's 10 after 8 here in the East Coast, so we'll wrap it up in about 15-20 minutes. But I just want to do some rapid questions real quick. And you can go some generic questions. I just want to get them out there. What are your all-time favorite movies? Do you have a top 3 or top 5 favorite movies of all time?
Oh, that's so hard to pick just one. It depends if what I'm in the mood for. Whether I want to laugh, whether I want to just sit down and enjoy the action. Die Hard. That's kind of hard to beat that.
Yes.
48 Hours. I really love that buddy cop. Lethal Weapon.
Eddie Murphy. Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick. I'm going to interrupt you. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Yes or no?
No.
Whoa! Whoa! Wow.
I don't think so.
Okay. We'll get into that another day, another time. But okay.
Christmas elements. How about that?
Fair enough. Okay, so you mentioned Lethal Weapon. What about Rush Hour?
Oh yeah, Rush Hour's good. Really good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's not politically correct nowadays, but it's good.
Yeah. Are you excited for the
is?
upcoming Axel Foley, the new Axel Foley movie coming out on Netflix?
That actually looks pretty good.
Yeah. What about Bad Boys?
I mean, oh yeah, that too. Those, oh my gosh, those are fantastic movies. All 3 of them. Take your pick. But I mean, it's after Will Smith, smacked the shit out of Chris Rock. He's got to do something to get back on the public's good graces. So maybe Bad Boys 4 will be it.
Hopefully. I actually enjoyed the 3rd one. I mean, the 2nd one's my favorite, but I generally looking forward to Bad Boys 4. Okay, favorite Batman movie?
Batman 1989 or Batman The Dark Knight Rises, I would say. Dark Knight Rises.
Okay, good. Okay. I'm glad we got some different picks here. Okay, now we got to get this question out of the way, Joe, because it's just inevitable. Obviously, Kaiju. I don't know if you see my Godzilla stuff back there. Kaiju's pretty big here in NerdCage Live. Are you a Kaiju fanatic or a Godzilla fan at all?
Sorry, my microphone's breaking up. I've seen the latest Godzilla movies. I haven't seen Godzilla. What is it? -1? Is that the newest one?
Yeah.
I have not seen that. Is that good?
Excellent.
Is it? See that?
And it won an Oscar too.
I know it. I just haven't had a chance to see it. My son really likes that series too. What do you guys think about the Godzilla and Kong and all that stuff?
Okay. I'm pretty notorious, but I hated Godzilla versus Kong.
Did you?
I am not looking forward to. We have to cover it because we're gonna do a spoiler discussion at the end of the month, but I'm not looking forward to the new one, the New Empire. But we'll cover it anyway. But I'm not looking forward to it. I didn't like GVK. Now I did like Kong Skull Island, and I enjoyed Godzilla King of the Monsters. But Godzilla versus Kong, I just couldn't do it. I just thought it was way too schlocky, and it just did not work for me. I'm a fan of the old school Toho series. Is my favorite. So.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's see here. Well, we definitely covered. I mean, we already covered favorite video games. Basically, I mean that's what you do.
Favorite
what do you like
guilty
about?
pleasures?
I'm sorry.
Favorite guilty pleasure movie.
Favorite guilty pleasure movie. Roadhouse.
There you go. Are you looking forward to the new Roadhouse?
No.
Neither am I. I just thought we'd be on the same page with that.
Yes, we are. There's some things you just don't.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right. There's some things you don't remake, and that's one of them.
Yeah, no, I miss Patrick Swayze. What an awesome actor he was.
Yeah, I agree.
Rest in peace.
Now we talked a little bit of box. Are you into boxing or like into boxing or MMA at all?
You know, I used when my nephew was living around here. I used to go to his house every month and watch it, but that's been 4 or 5 years, so I really haven't followed it a whole lot since then.
Okay. I just figured I'd ask because we talked a little bit about boxing and MMA a little bit too. So
I did play the first couple of UFC games, and those were fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Really difficult online, but yes.
I never did play it online.
Are you into now outside of like the combat sports? Are you into any other sports? Football, baseball, basketball, hockey?
I played Little League for 6 or 7 years growing up. Followed the Cardinals since I'm from Illinois and family's from Missouri, but that's really about it. I mean, I'll sit and watch sports if it's on. My daughter's really into hockey, so
Nice.
I'll watch that with her. But that's really about it.
Okay. No, I'm a diehard New York sports fan, so I mean, obviously, I don't know if
You're
you
from
see
the
that.
area.
Yeah.
I see it.
That helmet right there is signed by Lawrence Taylor. So
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
I met Lawrence Taylor a few years ago doing autographs. I got a Lawrence Taylor poster signed over there. You can't see it, but there's a Lawrence Taylor's poster signed, helmet signed. Got my photo with him.
That's
I know
cool.
he's not exactly. By the way, he was in wrestling too, but.
Right.
I know he's got himself, into a lot of trouble outside of football, but my God, what a fantastic football player he was. My all-time favorite football player was Michael Strahan.
Oh yeah.
Michael Strahan was everything to me growing up, and to see him on TV now is awesome to see him on TV every day now. And
Yeah, that's cool.
My heart goes out to him because I know his oldest daughter has got brain cancer, so my heart goes out to him. So. I know
We were talking about autographs and meeting people, and we kind of glossed over this real quick, but
yeah.
The prices of autographs nowadays are just insane if you want to go and meet somebody. For example, Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair are going to be in Chicago next month, and you can meet the pair of them and have a photo op for $300. So I can recall going back in the 2000s, like 2005, 2006, and you could go and get anybody's autograph for $20. That's what it was back then. So I don't know if you guys have had that experience or not.
Yeah, it's definitely getting up there. I understand though, because these guys have to make a living, and I know the places that book these celebrities, it costs them a lot of money to book them, and then the guys come in, they make their money off the autograph. So I get it. And now conventions are really expensive to get into now, so I get it. But yeah, you gotta be really economical about who you want to go out and meet and stuff like that. It's tough. It's like you gotta make hard decisions.
But since the online takeover and everything, I think it's been a cheaper option now to just get cameos.
Yeah, honestly. I actually had, I don't know if you guys know who Leapin' Lanny Poffel was. That was Randy Savage, Macho Man's brother.
Oh,
I
yeah.
actually had him do he recorded some audio for one of my videos, my wrestling videos. And he did his Macho Man impression for me and talked about PatManQC's channel and blah, 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 did a whole bunch of a spiel about it. So it was kind of cool. And it was only like, I don't know, $25. It wasn't very much.
Yeah, so, why not, right?
You know, a friend of mine, we went to Chicago about 10 years ago, and Stan Lee was signing autographs. And he took Thor #1 and had Stan Lee sign it. And with the photo op and everything, it was like $500. But Stan Lee.
Yeah, Stan Lee, yeah.
So, but who knows? I guess it's if you think it's worth it, then and you got the money, why not?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, hey, I actually work overnight, so I gotta get ready for work pretty soon. So, last question. I'm putting you on the spot, PatManQC. Thank you so much for coming on NerdCage Live. But hey, would you love to come back again and talk more on our channel?
I think you and I, Joe, we all have a good rapport, so absolutely. It would be my pleasure to come back on and discuss all geek things, no matter if it's video games or movies or Rocky or whatever we got.
Nice.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll definitely find a way to get you back on here again really, really soon. Again, thanks for taking your busy time off to hang out with us. So here's what I'm going to do. Before we go, PatManQC, I'm going to give you the floor, promote whatever you want to promote. And again, all your links to your social media and your YouTube channel, your Patreon's in the description, everybody. But yes, PatManQC, go ahead and promote whatever you want to promote, my friend.
Thanks. I will be if you're looking to meet me, I'll be at the Midwest Gaming Classic in Milwaukee, April 5th through the 7th. I'll be appearing on a couple of different panels, so you can swing by and say hi, and I'll be more than happy to take a picture or scribble something for you or whatever you got. I'll also be up at C2E2 in Chicago at the end of April, so you might see me strolling along there as well. So otherwise, be on the lookout for my videos. I post new videos typically around once a week, so just subscribe and let me know. And also, I really appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. All right, Joe, go ahead. Let's just promote our stuff that we got coming up right here. So, Joe, Saturday on Twitch, Joe.
Yes, a Tropical Freeze is coming with more Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
Yes, it's twitch.tv/NerdCage Live. And then tentatively Sunday, finale time.
Yes, finale of X-Men Legends.
Twitch.tv/NerdCage Live. Joe, next Wednesday on YouTube, Eli Rex.
Yes, Eli Rex of the New York Revival will be on the show for an interview.
Yes, he's been on the channel, but he's never been on the live show. We can't wait to have him on. And then, Joe, Thursday, March 28th, Return of the Mac.
Yes, Doc Mac of Galloping Ghost Arcade.
And then, ladies and gentlemen of NerdCage Nation, mark your calendars for Wednesday, April 3rd, Joe.
Yes, Finn McKenty.
Yes, the Punk Rock NBA, 500,000 subscribers strong. We're going to be talking everything music, movies, and video games. Cannot wait to chop it up with Big Papa Finn. Should be an awesome time. We can't believe we got him to come on. So look forward to that, ladies and gentlemen. And, of course, Joe, go ahead and plug in social media.
All right, if you want to get us on Twitter or Instagram, both handles are @nerd_cage. Our link to our Discord is in the description. Become a member there as well. And our Facebook discussion group that is NerdCage Nation. We love everything you guys put up there. No spoilers, no politics, and for God's sakes, keep it civil.
And be sure to check out our TeePublic, ladies and gentlemen. You can get hoodies, magnets, t-shirts, pillows, tote bags, mugs, you name it. We got all these awesome designs here. So be sure to get yourself a NerdCage Live t-shirt. We go from small all the way to 5XL. So whether you're a skinny booty call or a fat fuck, big or small, we love them all. You got no excuse. It's the best way to support the show. We got Mortal Kombat designs. We got these Marvel designs. We got Zelda designs. We got Nintendo 64 like the one Joe's wearing. We got Dreamcast design. So many goddamn designs. Even the Kaiju design here. For you Kaiju fans, and don't tell the Rizzo, we got the Wu-Tang design. Again, Zelda, don't tell Nintendo. And then the PlayStation, we're huge PlayStation fan. So yes, get yourself a NerdCage Live t-shirt. You're gonna love the way you look. I guarantee it. So once again, everybody, big thanks to our friend PatManQC. We cannot wait to have him back on. Of course, subscribe to him. Links are in the description. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, please like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and spread that shit. Like Retro Gaming, so to USA, from yours truly, Syracuse, New York, to Illinois, to all of our friends and fans around the world at NerdCage Live Gaming, and PatManQC, as always, enjoy life. Stay safe. Eat your vegetables, do your push-ups, go to the gym, all that good stuff. Keep playing old school games. Good night, and God bless.
Bye.
And stick around for awesome Twitch promo, and we'll see you guys Saturday on twitch.tv/NerdCage Live. Good night!
NerdCage Live and gaming are a perfect match.
Shoot the J, Joe. Okay. Shoot it!
All right.
Over on NerdCage Live on Twitch, Jay and Joe go live.
Call me Bazooka Joe. It's all about you.
Kaboom! Playing both old school and new school games every Tuesday night. Ooh, what a sight!
Jay, stop looking at her face and run.
But she's so beautiful.
So be sure to follow NerdCage Live on Twitch.
Run for your life, Joe. Run for your life, Joe.
Running.
Run faster. Oh no, Joe, the galaxy's doomed because of you.
To scratch your gaming itch.
Oh, nice kick, Joe.
Thank you.
Yo, that's diabolical. Wait. Yo!
That's twitch.tv/NerdCage Live.
Ooh, trying to get out of the nerd cage, are ya? Well, before you go, hit that subscribe button. And if you're really intrigued, ring that bell. Thank you for dropping by. Until next time, tell everyone you know about NerdCage Live! Ah!